Welcome to the Centre for Legal Innovation's Legal Techie Tuesday series. We are very excited to have Anubhav Mishra, co-founder and CEO of Legal Mind, here with us today. Anubhav will be demonstrating Legal Mind's digital ecosystem platform, transforming the legal industry with data analytics and artificial intelligence. Again, welcome. Fabulous to have you here. And now over to Anubhav.
Good afternoon, everyone in Australia, and good morning, everyone in India. Thank you so much, Center for Legal Innovation, for inviting our team here. Uh, so we are trying to solve very new problem in law, considering from an Indian perspective and also global perspective. We are trying to bring out the data and the insights from case laws. For years, they've been treated as just documents, but there are hundreds and thousands different insights and trends you can take out from those documents, and that's what we are trying to do using artificial intelligence. So, what is Legal Mind? Legal Mind is a SaaS platform that not just that helps you get trends and insights from legal judgments, whatever research that you are. We try to help you take more data-driven decisions so that you can make better arguments and win more cases. We are a young team of recent graduates. We just completed our undergraduation. All of us are engineers, and we are working with India's best law firm. So they are advising us on product side, so that we build some good products for the legal industry as well. Uh, Now, why there's a need for data-driven legal research? Like all the other industries, comparatively, the data in the legal industry is much bigger and it's piling up each day. From an Indian perspective, we see more than 2 to 3,000 cases getting added each day. There are approximately around 3,000 courts in India, from the local level to the Supreme Court level, and over a period of time, it becomes headache for anyone who's doing legal research, finding out the provisions, finding out the statutes, finding out the case laws that can make better arguments, and finding document itself becomes a challenge. This is from a research perspective. This is the problem. The second problem and the most important problem that the big law firms and the lawyers face is, clients keep on pestering that they ask you a lot of questions. How much what who is the local counsel, who is the senior counsel in the court that you're going to approach. And currently in the contemporary world, we see that all that is based on the word of mouth basis and experience, bureaucracy as well. uh, but what we have seen, the trend is that all this data, the entire thing, can be mapped using the historical data, and a lot of new insights can be generated. You can identify how much time it can take. You can identify, the analysis on, what is the tendency of a court in imposing litigation costs. What are the sets of penalties that the court might impose in certain cases? So that the arguments and the facts that you state are more data driven, and the decisions that you take are more data driven as well. And finally, the good data that is there in law, can be finally used to make predictive models. We can assess and we can quickly help judiciary as well and law firms as well into identifying what kind of problems, or what other sets of decisions that the court might take. It helps them get prepared more. Uh, for the time that we started, we try to make certain impact. A lot of people are now using us in beta. We have the largest corpus of data. It's more than 5 million plus, covering all the courts from the local as well. Our journey has been full of rocks and roads. Before Cyril Amach incubated as an India's first incubator, they've been helping us throughout, and a lot of inputs and a lot of motivation is given by Komal and her team. Everyone there supports us, and it's all about working with the industry experts, so that both the tech when both the tech and the industry are working, you open new possibilities of solving problems, and that's what we have been doing. We were the finalists of Google Build for Digital India, and we are an official Microsoft for Startups partner. So our entire architecture is hosted on Azure. Be sure that our architecture is safe. Uh, Considering only India, recently we've seen a lot of buzz since November. The Chief Justice of India is now talking about AI and how AI can be used in judiciary. Uh, Similarly, we have separate e-committees set up. But the three major problems that we are trying to solve here is reduce the research time by 40%, 80%, identifying why 80% of the data is not utilized. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to use a lot of take out a lot of insights from that data, and it's cost effective at a lower cost since we are using machine learning and lesser human intervention. At lesser cost, you're getting more features and a better tool. So I'll just quick take a minute in explaining of what we are doing. So there is a raw data that we collect each day from across the courts. As I told, we have around 5 million plus documents. A lot is to be taken out of that. What we do is first we clean that data, take out various entities that are most important to that case, the statutes, who's the lawyer, who's the judge, what's the issue, what's the verdict. And what we try to do is we try to take that information and try to visualize it so that it gives a very clear perspective to whosoever who's looking at those documents as a whole. So we have tried to make our dashboard more intuitive, very intuitive and very easy to use and navigate. Uh, we specifically built an AI to reduce the judgment reading time, and so that anyone who's reading a judgment can just click on a feature that we call extract, and a real-time summary would be generated. And the COVID times now is demanding more from everyone. So rather than just so what our goal is to not just provide some 100 different tools to lawyers. What we intend to do is create an ecosystem that lawyers can access from anywhere. So it's an access from anywhere platform. You can access it from phone, you can access it from a tablet, a laptop, and you can even access it from your Microsoft Word itself. So when you're doing the document, which I would probably show that to you in the demo as well. Legal tech market in general is expanding very much. We saw yesterday Lexis Plus being launched. We're kind of on a similar ground, but we have a different market and there are different use cases as well. So legal market is piling up. It's becoming very productive right now. It's becoming very in terms of growth. It's increasing day by day. So I'll not take a lot of time to go through the presentation because I'll just quickly switch on the demo. So this is the slide. I'll just put it up again, while we are doing the question answer, just in case if anyone wants to contact us. So without further ado, I'll just demonstrate our step by step our solutions that we have created. So the contemporary solutions that are there right now only gives you power to just look at the documents and map whatever keywords you are typing. What we intend to do is we tend to put a layer of visualization over there so that you don't have to open some 10 or 50 different documents and analyze trends and insights on that. So to start with, there's a top on the top left there's a search bar. So I just typed a very common legal term. And again, I'm saying I'm not a lawyer, so I'll be very weak on the legal language. So that when you type anything, it can be a legal term or it can be any thing in the natural language itself. So our search engine gives better results in things like in normal English, plain sentences as well. Something like goods were not delivered on time and contract was violated. You can search similar cases on this. Then loan was given using illegal money and witnesses present. So our search engine is contextual and they kind of pick good cases related to plain English, sentences as well. So the first thing that you get is you get sets of cases like you do in any other platform right now. It's pretty obvious. So you have filters of setting what order you want the cases. You want the order should be from most cited to least cited. The order should be from most recent to least recent, or the order should be from most relevant to least relevant. So above that, you have 4 different tabs of analytics that you get. The first one shows you timeline, the query that you have typed over a period of time. What are the sets of cases? gives you an idea in this, in restricting the time frame. So if 2018, 2019 were the cases that were the time frame that you got most cases related to medical negligence, you can just kind of filter from this side on the date filter, and you can restrict so that you get a better exploratory data to look upon and do your research upon. Apart from that, the second tab is decision. This is a very new feature that we have built up considering the Indian audience. It gives you the tendency of various verdicts that the courts give. So in case of medical negligence, what's the tendency of courts in allowing the appeal or the petition, uh, you know, uh, dismissing the appeal. You can further drill down and select quotes from our filter section as well. Like, you can just select Supreme Court or any other different courts, and then you can restrict the entire analytics to that particular code as well. Uh, Again, the third feature is also very new. So we have tried to make it as visualizable as possible. So this case tells you, in case of medical negligence cases, what are the sets of cases that judges are citing most while giving a decision. So if I am a lawyer and I'm researching on a medical negligence case, I would see quickly some 3 or 4 cases that are being cited most, and I will make my arguments there. That what it does is whatever judge you are arguing your case in front, it gives you a real leverage so that the judge would previously will be familiar to whatever case that you would be citing, because you're clearly able to see the data here, and it's better to present an argument, and the likelihood of an argument getting accepted is when a judge is familiar to that case. And the final tab shows the sets of arguments that the lawyers are arguing in front of that. If for the case for the search term that you have typed, what it does is it gives you a real leverage of just going through the arguments, and saves you a lot of time into going through each judgment and reading it. You can just quickly look at these arguments, and then whichever argument you find suitable, you can just click on that judgment and see the documents as well. So let's just open any case. This is one thing that happens. We have very basic features such as bookmarking a case and all that. So if you click here, the case would be bookmarked. So here are the sets of any judgment that you wish to open. You just click on that judgment, and you get the case here. We formatted it so that I try to make it as similar as the original document. On the right hand side, you have an option of cited cases, certain cases that cited this case. What are the sets of cases this case had cited? What are the governing case laws related to that? What are the similar cases? And you also have an option of adding notes. So I'll just show how you can add notes. So while you are reading any judgment, you can just click or highlight any of the part, and you can just click add note. And what it does is it gives you a pop-up of adding a note, and your note would be added here. So that whenever it also is real time. So whenever you are coming back to this document, your note would be already saved. This is one feature. Second, in judgment reading time, we have already segmented the judgment into various parts. Like you can directly click on issues to get the issue of the judgment, so that you don't have to find the issue of the judgment. It's built on our proprietary machine learning algorithm. And this was the feature that I was talking about. It's called extract. So what it does is it generates summaries real time, and this is built. This has taken a lot of time for us to build. We have talked to lawyers. We have verified this our summaries with a lot of lawyers. In few cases, we get accuracies up to 99%, and we're constantly improving on that in unsupervised learning and deep learning. So it will take some time to get perfect, but it's a very new feature, and we are getting some really good appreciations on this as well. So you can just see in all the judgment whatever part is highlighted. You can just quickly glance through that, It's easily able to identify ratios of the judgment, specific arguments, or what the case is all about. So from a general perspective, this is a kind of a research suite that allows you to do a specific research on a variety of in general litigation that I'm talking about. But our intention is to create different analytics on each practice area so that it gives you a very focused research. Say for example, in case of bankruptcy, we have a different dashboard. In case of securities and capital market, we have a different dashboard, because for each case you would have different requirements. For each practice area you would have different insights and different trends, and you can't generalize everything on that. So just to give you a quick glance on a bankruptcy dashboard with some really good insights from a totally strategic perspective, whether you are willing to engage with a local counsel, or whether you are analyzing a judge, you can do that here on a single platform. You can also get the real-time updates. So, for example, if it's a bankruptcy dashboard, it does things like it gives you case law specific to that practice area. It gives you new statutes, new amendments, real-time updated related to that practice areas. You can get analysis on any judge who gives decisions related to this practice areas. You can find you can find success rates of attorneys related to this practice area. So, I could just give you a quick demo. You can just go to the filter and say I selected a end class, so it's a tribunal. The Company Law Appellate Tribunal, a court in India that deals with commercial disputes and bankruptcy cases. And then the second, you can select the judge. So the judge I select the chairperson of the court, S.J. Mukhopadhyay, and then you get certain visualizations. Again, how many cases he has disposed. He's very active. That's so many cases to dispose. And the second card here shows you again the tendency of him allowing and dismissing the appeal. So most of the appeal that so it's an appeal court. A lot of appeals is dismissed by him. Mostly we see that the tendency of him dismissing the case is more than him allowing. So that's not really a good sign when you are appealing in front of him. Again, certain sets of cases that he cites while giving a decision. Again, this gives you leverage of presenting a familiar case to him, an argument from a familiar case, so that he already knows the case, and the tendency of him accepting the argument would be more. Then this is a very unique feature. Tells you the tendency of the judge to impose a litigation cost on you. So in case of Justice Mukhopadhyay, there are very few cases on which he imposes litigation cost. So it's a very this one is a very good feature. Just in case if you're a law firm and you're planning to look at look senior counsels in the court, or the advocates on record in the court that you are willing to engage with, you can just see the success rates here for that. But in front of that judge as well. So we give a feature of doing the similar analytics on the court, but generally what happens is lawyers here prefer to see the analytics on judge specific. So say for example in this judge case, we see that Mr. Arun Katpalia has the best success rate. So if it's a bankruptcy case, what I would want to do is I would just want to engage with him. Apart from that, so it's very general to say that, but in different matters, different types of bankruptcy cases, you would find the success rates varying as well. Say for example, if it's a Section 9 matter, you might see Arun Katpalia at first. If it's a Section 12 matter, you can see Mr. Sudipto Sarkar at first. You can experiment. So the whole point of making this dashboard is that you give a lot of options, and you get a lot of time, and you get a lot of insights to do a lot of experiments as well. Not just go with the flow and not just go with the word of mouth thing that's happening out there in the court. Third, final thing that can be taken out of the set of trends is the time frame that it takes. Again, it does two very important things. If you are either a GC of a council, of a corporate, or if you are a law firm, what it does is, first of all, it gives you it gives you a time to tell your clients what amount of time or the amount of hearings it might take for one particular case. Not only that, it will also help you in price the litigation, specifically in India where pricing happens per hearing. So this the entire set of analytics, can guide you that these kind of say a bankruptcy case might last for 4 or 5 hearings. Section 9 matter in a bankruptcy case might last for 6 hearings. So accordingly to that, you can say that, boss, it takes 6 hearings from. In generally, the trend is that it takes 6 hearings, so we can price the litigation for 6 hearings, so that you don't lose money, and someone from the on the other side also doesn't, it doesn't become really expensive for him. So these are. So this was our bankruptcy dashboard. So just to show you that different practice areas would have different insights. Another practice area that we have built our similar dashboard is this is the capital markets dashboard. What it does is, first of all, it makes it really easy for a capital markets lawyer to research and work on filings and enforcement documents. Right now in India, it's very difficult for lawyers to work on things like offer documents, takeover documents, buyback. First of all, they're really badly stored on the government's website, and even if you find that document, it's very difficult for you to research, read through that. What we have done is we've created a platform and using deep learning, we've made that easier. And apart from that, what we try to do is we have tried to take out certain insights as well. So, for example, I typed insider trading cases, so find the insider trading cases. So what it does is, again, the first thing that comes up is the timeline. Over a period of time, what other sets of cases that have come in the insider trading section. The second is the penalty statistics. What it does is, it gives you a lot of time to think, right? Someone who is doing research on any topic, say suppose insider trading, it takes a lot of time for me to go through a lot of judgments and find and tell my client that this is the set of, this is the tendency, or these are the ranges of penalties that the court might impose on you. Takes really a lot of time. You don't even know the trend. There are some 30,000 documents here, and you don't know the trend. It will take you ages if you do it manually. But analytics gives you power to do that. So if someone comes and says that I have a case, please, I have a case and represent me. It's an insider trading case. So I can just quickly say that, in cases like this, you the tendency of the court imposing a fine more than 100 million, more than 1 million rupees is it's a likely chances that the court is going to fine you with $1 million, or sorry, million rupees here. Apart from that, you can what you can do is, so insider trading can be a very vast field depending on the regulation. So what you can do is specifically filter down with sets of regulations. So say, for example, I'm only looking for cases that involve a violation of regulation 2. I can just select regulation 2 and then I hit apply, and the entire analytics would revolve then there around related to section regulation 2. So the entire analytics changes, and then it gives you these documents here. Apart from that, in this, so we have differentiated the kind of analytics that we do, and one such difference would be, say, for I just want to see quickly while research. I also just want to see, the treatment of a similar insider trading case in an appellate tribunal, and let's see how they treat. So what it does is it gives you kind of tabs related to suitable related to that appellate court. So specifically in appellate court, what we want to see is we want to see whether appeals like this are getting allowed, or appeals are getting a positive treatment or not. So there and then you can just click on decision tab and analyze quickly say in case of Regulation 2 of insider trading, the tendency of court dismissing the appeal is a lot. So, I mean, if you want, so it narrows down your research threshold. So I would be only now looking at the cases in which the insider trading cases were allowed and what set of documents, what set of arguments were used to make the appeals allowed. So this was kind of the analytics that we are building, be extending it to other practice areas as well. In taxation, which is pretty wide, but we hope that we conquer that as well in antitrust and competition as well. So this was from a strategic perspective. Now to just show kind of the ecosystem that we are building. So here is a very unique word extension that we have created. So the entire research that you are doing, on our research platform, it gives each and every feature here on the word on a word extension as well. So if you are drafting a petition, if you're a document, you want to see governing laws, you want to see similar cases, you want to search a specific term, it gives you options here. Say, for example, I type anything, I type medical negligence, say, and I hit search. The entire research workflow is, accessible directly here. You can find cases, you can open the judgment. It gives you simultaneously, it gives you it saves you a lot of time while you are reading the document. You can do a research on that, and you can draft. While you are drafting, you can get access to all those case laws as well. So these were some features that we are working on. Now, talking specifically into the Indian market, these are very new features. In American and European market, and it might be new features as well. But from the perspective of an Indian market, it's very new. Also, the word extension gives you leverage of directly, doing research on the entire document. So if I have a document prepared in front of me and I say that, I just want to analyze this entire document, what you can do is you can just say, search the entire text of the document. So it will take the entire text, take some insights in that, and again, it's going to give you similar judgments as well. So, while you are drafting a document, or while you're creating a document, or while you're assessing a document, parallelly or simultaneously, you can get case laws, judgments, provisions, or anything that's primary. We would be planning to extend it into secondary sources as well over a period of time, and it makes your research more flexible.
It was really interesting to learn about the application of automation and analytics in the law, the problems the legal sector in India is facing, and how Legal Mind is solving those problems through automation and artificial intelligence. If there aren't any questions, we will draw to a close. If anyone has any questions afterwards, Anupab is happy for you to contact him directly through LinkedIn, yes, through the Legal Mind website, or via email. A huge thank you to all of you who have attended today. As you know, the Centre for Legal Innovation is very much focused on these types of webinars, this type of information sharing, collaboration, and experience exchange. We are all about practical solutions. There will be many more webinars coming up in the Legal Techie Tuesday series in 2020, so don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook for announcements. We look forward to welcoming you back to one of our events, and thank you again very much for joining us today.